moderate filibuster on your part.
Thank you very much.
Here's how this is going to work. We have some questions that the legacy group submitted
Sure.
that I'll read out loud, and then with about 10 or 15 minutes left, we'll open it up for questions from the audience. I may take some moderator's privilege and slip in a couple of questions of my own.
Okay, now, this is a public forum. I have a tracker from the Democratic Party of Kentucky here. How you doing, tracker? Good to see you here. We've missed you the last few days. So, if you'd like for her to continue filming, is that your policy?
That's not up to me. I mean, legacy, that's more of a legacy.
Family. They need to have a board meeting.
Yeah, we might have a side.
You know, whatever your policy is.
You can go on with just our questions.
She's going to see it on your TV show anyway.
Yeah, we are. We're taking it as well.
Go ahead.
Okay, the first question from the group.
Let her ask the question. She doesn't get to do that very often.
The first question from the group is what can Kentucky do, and you specifically, if elected governor, to help attract and retain young professionals in Kentucky?
Well, obviously, the things that I've talked about previously, if you're, young professionals, the other day, and I think it was here in Northern Kentucky, I sat down with a young lady, and she entered into a conversation in the group I was in, and I asked her what her profession was, and she said she was an aviation attorney. I thought, well, that's a pretty specialized field, just being an old country advocate, sort of country lawyer, an aviation attorney. And she asked me that same question. Convinced me, Senator Williams, that I've made the decision, the right decision, to live in Kentucky, that the decision is correct to move here. And I went with her through the things that I talked about previously, about what we need to do to make Kentucky competitive, what we need to make sure that she doesn't get drawn to another state where immediately she gets a 6% pay raise by virtue of the fact that they don't have a personal income tax, by the fact that her company will want not to do corporate headquarters or things without incentive programs. Now, the incentive programs that we have might sound good to people, but the government should not be picking the winners and losers. The marketplace should be picking the winners and losers. And incentive programs have been effectively used on occasion, like the Toyota plan. But there are very few circumstances where you get in those competitions that, in my opinion, they should be the exceptions to the rule. So I would say that most young people should have a confidence that you have a governor with a vision, with an agenda, with a plan to move us to the next step. And that we should not have a governor that is reactive but proactive. That we should have a plan that you could buy into to try to create a momentum, a esprit de corps among the group, to think that we can go to the next level, that we can be competitive, that we can compete with our sister states. And I tell you, we don't really have that feeling in Kentucky right now. We're reactive and not proactive. And I think that I would tell a young person that they need to watch the changes that will start on December the 10th, the next day, December the 11th, about the sort of folks that I can attract to come into state government, the changes that we can make, the innovations that we can make, the changing of the culture of state government, and to realize that government does not create wealth, that government creates an atmosphere that the private sector can create wealth, and that I understand that I do not believe that government is the answer to most questions. I think if the answer to your question is government, you probably asked the wrong question there. The most important function that government has is to create an atmosphere where jobs can be created. And the things that I've talked about previously will be